it's brilliant to hear about what you guys are up to, and thank you so much for allowing me a little bit of time just to talk about what we've been doing, and just to caveat as well that we're obviously aware that we are a bigger organisation. We're really lucky to have a bit more capacity and resource, but I think there's lots of learnings that we can share both ways. Really, it's really good to learn from what you guys have been doing too. So yes, I'll just speak a little bit about our campaigning, kind of what we've been doing, and some of the tactics we use. So as Brooke mentioned earlier, our campaigning is really led by insights from our community. We use our My MS My Needs survey, which is a big survey that runs every 3 years, and this goes to everyone on the MS register. So it's really cool to hear about the register that you guys are building up. I think that'd be really, really useful. And this really helps us to identify some of the key issues that are affecting people. We also have a dedicated campaigns email inbox where people can email us about issues that they're facing. This really helps to kind of collate some qualitative evidence as well, coming from people themselves about things that they're experiencing. So we campaign on quite a wide range of issues affecting people with MS. We campaign around benefits, employment, the care and support people should receive, so sort of social care and carers' rights more specifically. And we do a lot of work as well around access to treatments and services too. And I just would agree really that working in coalition is incredibly important, as Lorraine mentioned earlier. So we work in coalition a lot with the Care and Support Alliance on social care issues, and also the Disability Benefits Consortium too. We're very active members of those two coalitions. We do quite a lot of digital campaigning and online campaigning. We have a campaigns community email list of people. That's around 20,000 people who take our digital actions online. And just to say there's a lot of learnings that we're building up as well about how to build up a list of people to email, kind of post GDPR. Obviously that's affecting kind of people's email list sizes. But we've done quite a lot of work looking into how we can make sure we're building up our list of people that we can contact. And these people take quite a wide range of kind of actions for us, depending on what the issue is that we're talking to them about. We use a software called Engaging Networks. Obviously, this is a software that we pay for, so it's not, but there's lots of things as well that can be used online that kind of do a similar job to what this does as well. So what we use this for, we use this for people to email their MP about an action. We also have a tweet your MP function. We use this as well for petitions and open letters, but there's lots of other ways that people can do this online, such as the website writetothem.com is a free website where people can write to their members of parliament or their MSP or Welsh or Northern Ireland Assembly member. Also obviously the government petition website is a really good way to do things too. We use a lot of social media to raise awareness of issues. We have got a good kind of social media following, and we like to kind of mobilise people on there, and also use that to reach out and hear about the issues that people are facing and gather experiences too. We do a lot of work with relevant government departments, so the Department for Work and Pensions concerning kind of our benefits work, and also the Department of Health and Social Care too. We've also done quite a lot of work to build up relationships with pharmaceutical companies, and put quite a lot of work into kind of developing good relationships with them. We also have a professionals network. So this is a mailing list of professionals working with people with MS who we can use to get them. We can use this network to get them information about things that we're working on, and also kind of hear back from them as well. Obviously, as we said, with the current situation, it's not a good time obviously to be influencing or asking much of professionals at the moment, but we can use that kind of going forward, hopefully when everything's settled down a bit. It's really interesting to hear about the work that you guys are doing around treatments, because we've done a lot of work with NICE as well, and it's good to kind of share experiences on that. We launched our Treat Me Right campaign directly in response to data from one of the My MS My Needs surveys that we ran, because this showed that lots of people, not as many people as we hoped, were accessing disease-modifying therapies. One of the kind of successful campaigns that we've done around treatments was around ocrelizumab, which is a treatment for early primary progressive MS. So in 2018, NICE approved ocrelizumab for relapsing MS, but not for primary progressive MS. And in response to this, we launched a petition, and this was signed by 21,000 people. We also did an email your MP action, and we worked with the pharmaceutical company Roche as well on this. I think one of the main kind of learnings for this from this for us was really around using kind of multiple avenues really to influence, so more behind the scenes with the pharmaceutical company, as well as kind of mobilising public support too, and getting people to share their stories. So in May 2019, NICE changed its decision after an updated submission by the pharmaceutical company. So that was after we worked with them. They updated their submission to NICE, and that allowed it to be approved for England. So we're working at the moment to look at getting that for other nations as well. Obviously, there are a lot of issues kind of still around access, which is something that we work on a lot too, because I think we all are kind of aware that even once something's approved, it doesn't necessarily mean that people can access it easily too. In terms of our campaigning in Parliament, we have an all-party parliamentary group for MS. So this is a cross-party group of MPs, and something that we're recently trialling too. We have elected people with MS who are also sitting on this parliamentary group. So the committee is made up of MPs and people with MS, which is really, really good because it means that everyone can kind of have equal weighting to feed into those discussions on what the all-party parliamentary group should focus on. It also obviously has the weight of the parliamentary decision makers behind it, so that's really good method for if we want to influence in Parliament too. We also go out to our campaigns community email list about what issues the all-party parliamentary group should be focusing on. So again, really using kind of insight from people as to what they think the group should be focusing on in Parliament. We're also really, really lucky to have a press team who help us to share people's stories with the media. And we really find that the strongest way to get any kind of media attention or kind of raising awareness of an issue is for people with MS themselves to be speaking directly to the media, so us supporting them to speak directly through radio or TV interviews or in print. And this team as well also really helps us get celebrities on board too. We have some celebrity ambassadors who help us promote our campaigning, which can be really, really useful for kind of that gaining awareness and then using that to further promote the issue. At the moment, we're looking at developing our local campaigning offer. So I think something that we really recognise across the sector is the value when people build up relationships with decision makers locally. So people developing a good relationship with their local MP, and then being able to go to them about the issue that we're promoting. So we're looking at the moment on how we can support people to campaign on issues in their area, whether this be targeting the council or the CCG or the NHS Trust, and looking at helping to support people to have the resources to do that. We're also looking at how we can use online kind of tools like a map function so that people can kind of plot what they're doing, and we can use that to connect people in different areas who might be campaigning on the same issue, whether that be access to blue badge parking or lots of different issues that people might be experiencing in their area. So I suppose one of the main takeaways from my campaigning experience is really around personal stories, making the most difference, promoting those as much as possible. Campaigners building local relationships with their MP or decision maker to make the biggest impact, and also around coalition working, which it sounds like you guys are doing loads of already. So sorry, that was a really quick rundown of what we're up to, because I want to make sure we have some time for questions and discussion. But yes, I'll probably pass back to Lorraine now. I know that there's been a few things coming through in the chat box too.
Oh, that was fantastic, Hannah. Thank you so much. It's so impressive. That's what we aspire to be like you. Just to sort of put into perspective, can you say a little bit about how common MS is, and also about the resources that you have in terms of the size of the team that you work with to be able to do all of those things that you're doing? Is this a sort of comparison?
Yeah, of course. We recently released new figures on prevalence of MS, so I'm just trying to find those because I haven't got those memorised.
Sorry, typical to ask the question that you haven't got right there.
I can come in on that. Prevalence has been my life for about a year, so Yeah, so in the UK, we estimate using GP records that there's just over 130,000 people living with MS in the UK. So
Brilliant.
that's the number of people.
Brilliant.
And then you've obviously got the network of families and friends and carers and supporters and all of that kind of stuff that feed in.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Brooke. That was really, really handy to jump in. Yes, and we do have, we're really lucky to have quite a few people in the team. So just for context, so we have 4 of us in our national campaigning team. We have 4 people in our policy team who help us to communicate with government departments and do a lot of work kind of behind the scenes on that. We have 4 people on external relations, so they cover kind of relationships with pharmaceutical companies, other bodies, also in Parliament too. And then we're really lucky to have a team of regional external relations officers. So these are people who they are based out in their community across England, and then we have 1 each for Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, and they make kind of local relationships, go to sort of local meetings that affect their areas, and it's really, really handy to have them, as they obviously have a wealth of local knowledge, and they can build relationships with people in the communities too and bring them into our work too. So yeah, we're really, really lucky to have all that resource in our team.
Really effective team, and I mean that's still a relatively small team, but it does sort of put into perspective the challenge. And when was the MS Society established?
Oh, that's a good question. Please forgive me for not knowing.
Sorry.
All these. No, that's fine. Well, I can't really count myself as new anymore. I've been at the MS Society 6 months now.
It's probably not a question that gets asked very often.
So I think it was established in the 50s, but we're a slightly different organisation in terms of a charity, where it was a network of local groups. So I think there was one kind of local community group that was set up in the 50s by a couple, and then there was a network of local groups around the country, and then they decided that they needed kind of a national body to bring them all together, and that's when kind of National Centre was established. And I'm not 100% sure when that was. Maybe that was the 50s as well. I can't remember actually. Yeah, so we have a really strong network of local groups as well that tend to do less kind of influencing stuff and more just support stuff.
Yeah, which is so important, the support side of things. Yeah.
And we're a membership organisation too, so we're really kind of led by members, and that's really important as well.
Fantastic. And I see somebody on the chat was asking the question, how many people are there in the UK with hypothyroidism? And Helga very kindly has given the numerical answer at about 2.3 million. So there's about sort of 3% of the UK population are being treated for an underactive thyroid.
Wow, that's huge.
It's absolutely huge. So it's extraordinary that there isn't a big, well-resourced organisation for thyroid patients yet. As I say, I wonder if that's something to do with the fact that it's when you have a thyroid condition, it can just make you very apathetic, and people traditionally maybe haven't spoken up very much about it. I think that's starting to change. I think, being able to do stuff like this and sort of just the collectivity of technology that's available to us now is a real enabler, I hope.
I think one of the things that we've found with MS as well, and I'm not sure how long treatments have been officially available for like hypothyroidism, but the MS, we've only had really effective treatments for about 10 years. So a lot of people before that would go to their neurologist and would be told that they have it, but there's not much they can do for them, and would tend to disengage from the conversation or from that kind of thing, because and getting those people back into engaging and kind of understanding that there are new things coming along and that there are still things that we can be doing for them has been something that we're really struggling with, and clinicians are struggling with, but also and other support staff in the NHS, but also something that we're really focusing on and making sure that those people are continue to be engaged. So I'm not sure if that's a similar thing for hypothyroidism, but that's definitely something that affected engagement in MS as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. Really interesting. I see another question that's come through on the chat is when was the first person diagnosed with hypothyroidism? And I know the answer to this because I met the chap who is the chair of the hospital where the first ever patient with hypothyroidism was ever treated at this same event that I was talking about earlier this month at the House of Lords. And he told me that in Newcastle, at some point in the 19th century, the first person was treated with thyroid gland for underactive thyroid, and they got better, and it was miraculous. So it actually goes way back to the 19th century. Synthetic thyroid hormone, I believe levothyroxine was synthesized in 1929, and liothyronine was synthesized in the 1950s. I think that's correct. But what I would say is we have a really fantastic video on our website where Dr. Toft, who used to be the president of the British Thyroid Association, gives a talk about the management of hypothyroidism, and he talks about the history of how treatment has developed over the years. It's a very, very interesting video, and I'll share the link to that. We've reached 12:30. How are you guys for time? Can we have like maybe 10 minutes of questions?
Yeah, for sure, that's fine. Just to say, I booked the Zoom till 12:45.
Ah, great.
So we should be fine until then. And then I don't know what happens after that. If no one's booked it, will it kick us out?
No, I think it normally carries on, but
it'll just carry on.
Yeah.
So you guys can continue to use the space if you want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, I'm very mindful that there's always seems to be so much to say at our meetings that we have a bad habit of going over time, which is why I was kicking myself for talking over time when I did my bit. I think we should look to finish at 12:40, because people might have arranged to do other things if people are all right with that, and then I think we should arrange to regroup. I'm sure, you know, Brooke and Hannah, you're busy people and you've got other things going on in your lives. So I don't know if you'd be available to come back with us, but hopefully some of the others would, and we can agree a time for that, because it's just such an interesting discussion. Does that work for people? If anyone has to go now, then thanks. We are recording this session as well. We're obviously not recording everybody in the discussion, we're just recording the speakers. So hopefully if the technology has worked, we'll be able to share this online afterwards. So if anyone does need to go now, you won't miss out on whatever is said going forth. It'll still be on the video. Just looking for questions to see if there's any that we haven't answered. Judith saying, thank you, found both your presentations very informative, and that's from Judith, our Chair of Trustees. I'm sure we would all echo that. Thank you both so much. Really, really interesting. Someone's saying, are there any universities carrying out research and studies that we can be aware of? So the main researchers in this field at the moment, as far as I'm aware, I know Dr. Adrian Heald is doing some research at the moment, which Thyroid UK have been helping with, and the Society for Endocrinology have just been putting some stuff out on social media about. Professor Colin Diane and Dr. Peter Taylor in Cardiff are probably the lead researchers in this at the moment. And I know that Dr. Christian Bolart is very keen to do some research in this area. I think probably the best source of current research which is going on would be either the British Thyroid Foundation website, where they list research, or we have a sort of a bit of a spreadsheet of studies that we're aware of, and I think I need to tidy that up and make that publicly available. But really sort of so there's another major study which Thyroid Federation International told us recently was going to be taking place, led by Professor Petros Peros, and we need to find out more about that, because that is specifically going to be looking at patients who don't appear to do well on levothyroxine alone. So that's something that's coming up. So we have a research section on our website, but it is certainly not comprehensive, because that's not something that we've had the resource to do as yet. So I would say to people, have a look at the research section on the BTF website, and I'm sure it's something we all want to build up. Any more questions? Yeah, Christine saying, cannot believe that levothyroxine is the third most expensive medicine. So it's, as a medicine, individual prescriptions are not expensive, but it's because there are so many people taking it that if you look at the amount of money the NHS is spending on all of the different medicines that it purchases, the amount of money that's spent on levothyroxine is the third most, which is extraordinary. Helga is saying she's taken from the NHS data. Very good paper, yes, which Pete Taylor co-authored, which was published in The Lancet, which there is a link to on our website, which provides detail on how the prescribing patterns for liothyronine have been affected over the duration of the price rises. And what was really shocking about that study, which he revealed, and there was quite a lot of publicity about it, was that the prescriptions in areas of greatest deprivation have fallen off the most. So it's exactly as you would expect. Those people who have the least resources to advocate for themselves are the most likely to be getting the least access to treatment options. So it's so important that you know, those of us who can fight to change things, we need to do that, not just for ourselves, but for everybody. Brooke, you were talking about the understanding evidence sections of the Sense About Science website, and I wonder if there's any mileage in asking Sense About Science if maybe thyroid disease could be one of the topics that is covered in that in the future, because I think that would be hugely beneficial. I mean, exactly what Jim said, you know, patients are stuck between the two, you know, sort of mainstream science sometimes overstating the evidence and it should be challenged, and alternative practitioners sometimes saying things which are just patently ridiculous, and that misinformation needs to be targeted. So is that something that you might be able to talk to Sense About Science about?
Yeah, for sure. I can link you guys up with them. I think if you can show them the evidence of, you know, there are ones for cancer and heart disease and those kind of things. So, I mean, the fact that over 2 million people in the UK are dealing with this every day, I think it makes a good case for it being a kind of standalone issue. So, yeah, I can link you up afterwards and we can try and see what they say.
Well, that's an amazing action point to finish on. Thank you very much.